Hello, my friends. It's me, James, and it's once again time for me to share a moment with you and perhaps some thoughts about some things that may or may not connect with you in this time of year. I want to begin by remembering and reminding you that you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are. You are the gift this season is bringing, first and foremost. Certainly, there are other things we celebrate in this season, but remember that you are a gift. And it's not about what you will get this season or what might be given to you or even what might you give to others in the form of things. It's really about how well you might really be present in this season and give just a little bit of yourself. It sounds easy, but it can be challenging, particularly in a culture that invites us to give things. So, what I want to invite you to do to help keep us grounded in this season is to slow down and find a space, if you can, every single day leading up to whatever holiday you might be about to celebrate. And just take a couple of moments, a minute, 5 minutes, or longer if you have it, to sit down. Yes, there may be a lot of things that you want to do. There may be a lot of things that you need to do. But can't you find just a moment in the midst of all of that to sit down and perhaps just be thankful? You can call it your thankful moment. And when you sit down and you think, I still have breath. I'm still here. I still have something to give. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for, and you can list any number of things. And I encourage you, you can say them out loud. You can write them in your journal. That's one of the things I do, is to write those kinds of things down in my journal so that I can see and notice them and remember to live from that place of gratitude. Perhaps gratitude isn't what you want to practice this season. Perhaps you've already got a good gratitude practice. Perhaps you just want to take a moment to connect with something bigger than you. And perhaps you sit down and you find a moment to catch your breath, pay attention to your breath, let go of all the other things that are going on around you, sink into a deeper place within you, find that inner peace that you're looking for just a moment in this time of year, whenever this time of year is that you happen to watch this, quite frankly. You could do something symbolic. You could do something like light a candle when you sit down. Oftentimes the ritual of sitting down and lighting a candle to begin the time, and then at the end of that time blowing out the candle, helps to make that space feel sacred. It's like you're crossing a threshold from whatever the rest of life and its chaos may bring to you over into a moment that is a sacred, holy moment. Now, I believe all moments are sacred and holy. But when we cross that threshold and are intentional about making a moment sacred and holy, and we learn that we don't even really have to do anything amazing to make that moment sacred and holy, then we begin to see sacred and holy everywhere we go. But we have to start somewhere. And the somewhere might be sitting down, lighting a candle, and then at the end of the time, extinguishing a candle. Maybe you have something that's important to you in your life that you like to remember. You might be on a walk somewhere, or you might have gone to some place, and one of the things you got was maybe a stone, or in this case, a sand dollar. And you hold it in your hand. And with a sand dollar, you have to be especially gentle because they'll break. They'll break very, very easily. So when I hold it, I look at this sand dollar. First of all, knowing that at one time the sand dollar was living. It was a living creature that washed up on the beach and dried out, and then came into my collection of things that I've found on the beach. And I hold this, and I think of, particularly with the sand dollar, as I think about how fragile it might be, I think to myself, how sometimes fragile life seems to me, and how important it is to uh, to savor the moments we have, to talk to the people we love. Sometimes I let too much time lapse before I call and talk to the people I love or share with them what I'm thinking. Um, Sometimes I let myself get bogged down by other things. And so maybe holding a sacred object, one that is fragile like this. Maybe you have a feather from a bird or a leaf from a tree that has fallen in the season of autumn. If you're in the southern hemisphere, that would have to be from last autumn. But here in the northern hemisphere, the autumn drop of the leaves, and you hold it and remember to be thankful for that in the midst of the fragility of life, here you are, that you're being held, that you are precious. There are other things that you could certainly do with that time. Perhaps a sacred thing you could do is each one of the days that you take, you might take a moment to be to jot a note during your sacred time to someone you care about. One of those people you could jot a note to is yourself. What are you most thankful about yourself? What do you appreciate about yourself? Can you find those things? Can you hold those things? Can you recognize what a gift you are because you bring something to the universe that no other person before or after you will bring because you bring you? No other person can express that giftedness to the rest of the world. This season is filled with giftedness, and it's often about giving gifts to people we know, people we don't know. We just did the angel tree at church where we gave gifts to children we didn't know who had requested things and who might not have received other things if it had not been for folks sort of adopting them for Christmas. Those are small ways. They aren't the long-term ways to impact people's lives, but in small acts of mercy, we share love with the rest of the world. What might you do to make a holy season holy for you, sacred for you? Is it a ritual? Is it lighting a candle, sitting for a moment, and extinguishing the candle at the end, recognizing that sacredness? Is it using your journal to write down the things for which you're thankful, the ways in which you see yourself as a gift, the way in which other people are gifts in your life? And perhaps take a moment to say what a gift the person is through a note or a call in some way. There are lots of ways to slow down, even for just 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 20 minutes if you can find it. Just slow down. Perhaps meditate on a verse of a sacred text. One of the things we suggested this past Sunday is one of the things people could meditate on would be peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives, I give to you. What does that peace look like? Where does it reside? Does it reside deep within? Can you feel it? Can you feel the peace as it washes over you? What will you do this season to kind of keep the connectedness, the holiness, the sacredness of your life and life in general in the forefront of your mind? What way will you intentionally make this a season of celebration? Just a thought for this week. I encourage you to do something like that. But no matter whether you do or you don't, I want to remind you you're infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are. Until the next